Okay, painkillers. People are asking about pain. So, and I get this a lot. I hear, actually, I don't get asked it so much, but on some social media forums I'm on, I hear the conversation, people sort of saying, I am terrified of the pain. So, can you tell us a bit about the pain and pain control and how you managed?
Okay, I have given birth to 2 children, and that was horrible, okay? This was nothing. I would say if pain is your barrier, it's nothing to worry about. I took paracetamol only. I didn't take anything else once I left hospital. And I started to phase that out after day 3. And by day 6, I was completely off. By day 5, I think I only took 1 dose. And I don't have a high pain threshold. But I think a cut on your finger would probably hurt more because it's superficial.
Yeah, that's quite true, actually. So this is quite well known. So if we take a burn wound as a model of an injury, the superficial burns, which injure you but don't destroy your nerve endings, are really painful. So a sunburn is really painful. Go to the opposite extreme, and a full thickness burn, leathery, you've been electrocuted or something, they're actually not so painful. They're far more serious because they destroyed the nerve endings. The paper cut thing you talk about is dead right, and actually the tape that you're wearing on your scars has many benefits. I was asked in theatre the other day by my nurse, what's the purpose of all this tape that I'm putting across the breasts? And it has many purposes. One of them is to mould my tissues. One of them is to support things where we want them. But one of it is to splint the scar, is to splint the cut. And if you were to get that paper cut and put a strip of this tape on a fresh paper cut, the pain will go away immediately because those ends are not rubbing and not being irritated against each other. It's just all moving as a single block now. And that's the principle behind this as well. And we try this with our kids. We have some of the tape, there we go. And it has to be 3M micropore tape. No alternative will do, in my opinion. I do not have shares in 3M. I have no interest. But I wish I did. That won't be bison. But if you go to the high street, Boots will sell you microporous tape, but people often get irritation to that. 3M, for 3 months, that is the one that you're least likely to develop an allergy to. So if the kids get a paper cut, we get this out of the drawer, we put it on the paper cut, and they're immediately not moaning kids anymore, which is great, or a graze, or whatever it is. If it's weepy, then the blood kind of comes out, doesn't it, and beads on the surface, but you can then dab it or wipe it off. You don't need to remove it because of that. So it's such a good dressing, I think.
And it's cheap. It's very cheap to buy, isn't it?
Well, it is, unless you're buying the quantities that we buy. So we've just bought, I say we, Becca has just put in a big stock order for the clinic, and she was saying, wow, this micropore is expensive. For tape, it's quite expensive, but for a really good dressing, it is quite cheap. A roll of that will last you for your whole wound healing process. And if we think that a single silicone dressing might cost £5 and you'll use that for 3 or 4 days and then discard it, whereas an entire roll of this costs £3 or something?
Yeah,
something like that. So I think it's pretty good value for the medical world, and it's so good. So I am not employed by 3M. However, I am, as in all things, available. So that's amazing, I've got to say, about the pain, because you saying all that and then saying you don't have a high pain threshold is remarkable to me. On my YouTube channel, there's a little snippet of a video, and I think I'll make this into a snippet of the video too, if I may. But there's a lady who's had a tummy tuck, and I'm speaking to her, just seeing her on the ward the day after, and she describes her pain as 2 out of 10 after a tummy tuck, which surprised me, actually. That being 10 the worst you can imagine and 0 being nothing. Where would you say yours was?
1. It wasn't painful. It was just a feeling of a bit of bruising. It wasn't painful.
Wow.
So I thought it would be, because if you think about the incisions, they are quite big. But no, there was. I kind of kept thinking wow, they must have sent me home topped up with a lot of pain relief. When it wears off, what's it going to be like? But it never happened.
No. And actually, that's not a great idea to send people home high as a kite, because they're probably not that safe, and then they'll only come down again and really rebound. So no, we like you to be stable, and we like you really to be on what you're going to be on discharge, before discharge, so that you know you're okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.